2022 Volvo C40 is the latest step from Volvo Cars. The 2022 Volvo C40 pushes the eco-friendly brand mission forward while boasting impressive EV performance and a 100% animal-free luxury interior. We'll fill you in on the latest information and specs that Volvo Cars allows us to share at this time while sharing insights into key model influencers that make the 2022 Volvo C40 a performance EV like no other. Like many electric cars with a skateboard-style architecture, which is to say the suspension, battery pack, and electric motors are all contained in one unit, the 2022 Volvo C40 Recharge has a frunk. It's not particularly deep, but it does have a nicely made cover that separates the metal hood from the cargo within. There's also a divider that splits the storage area in half and around which the charging cord can be neatly wrapped. Even if you don't use it for cord storage, this divider will come in handy to keep smaller items from rolling around. All C40 Recharge models come with two electric motors, one mounted in the front and one in the rear, which can deliver up to 402 horsepower. All-wheel drive is standard. Volvo claims this powertrain can propel the C40 Recharge to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. This powertrain can be found in the XC40 Recharge as well as the Polestar 2 electric car, the latter of which blasted to 60 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds at our test track. Under the floor of the C40 Recharge lies a battery pack with 75 kWh of usable energy storage, which Volvo says should deliver about 210 miles of driving range per charge. Speaking of charge, all C40 Recharge models will be capable of 150 kW DC fast charging, which is said to provide 80% charge in just 40 minutes for those who plan to charge at home. Hooking the C40 Recharge up to a 110-volt or 220-volt outlet is also possible, but charging times will be slower. In the back, the truck has a folding floor panel that can be propped up at a 90-degree angle. When it's fixed in this position, tabs along its spine are designed to serve as hooks for bags or hangers. Configuring the trunk in this way also reveals an even deeper well for stashing more stuff. More storage solutions. There are other cool nooks and crannies inside the cabin, too. Like all versions of the XC40, the C40 Recharge has carpeted front door pockets large enough to fit an entire 15-inch laptop. There are mobile phone slots on both sides of the center stack, and a slot underneath the central display can hold a credit card or a parking pass. Like the XC40 Recharge, the C40 Recharge will get an Android-based operating system, with apps like Google Maps and Google Assistant serving as defaults for navigation and voice control, respectively. The C40 will also be capable of over-the-air, OTA software updates. The C40 Recharge will be built in Ghent, Belgium, alongside the XC40 Recharge. Volvo said the C40 Recharge will be sold exclusively online, a first step toward the automaker's goal of 100% online sales, with simplified trim lineups and fixed pricing. With its taut ride, the XC40 Recharge feels a bit like a hot hatch on stilts, particularly on the 235/45 Pirelli Zero Elect tires wrapped around the optional 20-inch wheels fitted to our test car. But only to a point. There's not a lot of feel in the steering, which is best in the firmer of the two selectable modes to counter the tendency of the tires to follow contours in the road surface, and the brake pedal gets a little wooden after a stint of enthusiastic driving. The Recharge driveline has only two modes, normal, in which the car coasts when you lift off, and one pedal, which does exactly as it says, using regen to slow the car dramatically the instant you release pressure on the accelerator pedal. One pedal mode is sometimes useful around town, but normal mode gives the electric XC40 a nicer, more free-flowing demeanor that makes it less tiring to drive. You don't have to constantly keep pressure on the accelerator just to keep the car moving, and more efficient. Converting kinetic energy into energy stored in the battery invariably means some energy is lost. In normal mode, all braking up to 0.3 grams is done via regen anyway, and though a little more initial bite would be nice, the blending between regen and mechanical braking is smoothly done.